Pauly0x, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round traffic positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, so that's what we sing. Zero holders, all that's what we sing. Sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. And not for your body, it's the live in the tree. We're all over zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
All right, man. Let's fucking do this. Let's fucking do this. What's good, Joe? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody.
Great to see you, fuckers. Okay, one man short. Henry's probably going to be on today at some point. He said he's going to check in, but not feeling great, I think is the story. I think is the story. No, he is a little under the weather, and honestly, I think I don't know. Probably doesn't want to get into some of the stuff we're going to get into. Rightfully fucking so. I don't blame him. But I think he ain't feeling great, to be honest. All right, I hate to throw drama at you guys to start, but I don't think we're going to do market. I don't want to talk market stuff. Well, I don't know if you do, Joe.
Market's doing well. Done.
Actually, dude, you just reminded me. Market's actually looking okay. Hang on, let's actually show that. But reason being, there's so much drama out there, guys. I actually want to check in on that English polymath, Goodfellas, whatever their name is. I want to check in on their spaces. I mean, if you came here to avoid that, sorry, bad luck today, I guess. We're fucking back. We're back, Joe.
We're so down that we're not really back. You know what I mean? It's like
it's true. I was itching for your Michael Saylor impression this morning. Oh, my mic's all jacked. Hang on.
Yo, by the way, the theme song sucked dick ass.
Did it again? Okay, whatever. I don't know what I can do about that because again, I checked. I like just playing around, like listening to it. I'm like, it's like a compression thing. It's like the internet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I swapped out a cable and stuff, and I don't even care now.
You were frozen for a second too. Jesus.
Oh, cool. Good shit. Yeah. I half care. So okay, there's so much stuff like this. That guy Assassin. So to Assassin's point, there was a show this morning. Almost probably an hour of it at least was focused on the decentralized stuff, and Henry did not show today because he doesn't want to talk that stuff. He's just feeling a little under the weather, and it's like, let's just come back tomorrow and hit it strong.
Hold on. Let's hold on.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Hang on.
Fucking market. We did it. We're done. Market. Checked it off the list.
Okay,
you got something else to say about it?
I did, but I don't want to now.
Okay.
I want to get to what Assassin's saying.
I did listen to Mondo's show today.
Okay.
Had some really great takes about like BlackRock not disclosing stuff.
Are we talking the Coinbase ETF? It's incorrect.
In what sense?
What Mando was talking about, I think, is something that also Marty Party was tweeting out this morning again, saying that these ETFs, when they're traded, that never hits the blockchain. It's all off-chain transactions. That's the story?
No, the story was that they have a certain amount of time in which they have to get on the books a certain amount of the Bitcoin that they're trading.
Okay.
Like 2 to 30 days or 2 days after a 30 day. I don't know what it is. I'm not, but I listened to it. Interesting. It seemed as if Coinbase and BlackRock were not disclosing enough quite yet, and there needs to be more clarity on it. Anyway, was interesting. You know, that's all. The only take I had on the market. I'm trying to quickly move along, and I would like for you, because I am. Listen, folks, I'm not involved in the drama ever. I'm not drama. I am anti-drama. I don't surround myself with dramatic people. I am a straight shooter, and I have no toe dipped into any of this shit. But I'm fascinated by it, and I'm sure I will have takes on it. And just from the chatters around me, it does seem as if it's all around. There's things happening all around me, and I am interested, and I would like Hudah to kind of take a maybe set the stage for me a little bit on just what the fuck is happening with the Ordinals. It sounds like there's some drama going on with that, and then the fact that Henry's not here, I have to say, bothers me a little bit because it does seem as if, as what we were talking on the phone, it does seem to be a big story in the timeline today. It'd be nice to get that off of our chests a little bit and speak upfront and honestly about it. Because if we can't hear, then what are we doing, right? Like this is our time. So I would like to say that I'm interested in all that stuff. Let's get down to it a little bit if we're going to talk about that today. And if you could set the stage for me when it comes to that, as well as the decentralized Kong's drama and how that kind of interacts into all of it, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do all of that. We'll do all of that. I don't know where to start other than I talked about, and this is like a side note, although it deserves like the main spotlight, the main stage, it deserves a whole episode. And I'm going to do that as this rolls out. I don't understand it deeply enough, but okay, I've been getting into that Pauly0x Dex, right, from Pauly.
From Pauly, okay.
Yep, been looking forward to that launching. Over the weekend, it came out that it's not just the Dex, but it's also this blockchain he's been teasing called Magma. That's probably going live too. I think it is. I think that's a definite. The blockchain's going live. Dude, nobody's talking about it today, and this is a big fucking deal. It's a huge deal, dude. He's talked about giving away like 20 million in rewards. Nobody's talking about it. It's not on Decrypt. It's not on the block. It's not on.
How many millions are we getting if no one's talking about it and you are talking about it right now? Are we getting
none? And I don't want shit from it, but I didn't even think of it, right? I covered it this morning because I'm going to cover the news. I'm going to cover the shit that's actually happening. And I don't cover I try to only cover things that actually matter, that have some kind of impact. And this is clear as day, belongs on that report. Clear as day. And then I see Pauly tweet this out. What was this? Probably just a couple hours ago. And there was another tweet before this that nobody's covered it. Nobody. And it blows my mind that keeps happening, that people are trying to blackball this guy. And it won't matter. People can't, they're not going to be able to avoid the kind of money that's moving around in that ecosystem. So point of all this is just to put it on people's radar. It's happening in about 4-ish hours. This goes live. And you're going to hear a lot more about it. I will cover it. I'll probably do a live stream showing people how it works, like how the mining works. I just can't cover it now because I don't get it. I truthfully don't, but it has to be at least.
And you have not talked to Pauly since the interview, I'm assuming?
I texted him. He texted back, and that's it. And I will ask him if he wants to come on a show, and I'm sure he will. Just how we left things off. Just a good mutual respect thing. I'm sure he'll come.
Good, because I'm glad there's mutual respect, because I'm just saying I don't like people that come on your show and then they don't respond to you in type situation. I don't like that.
No, I think we had I felt like he was a real dude. He replied, very nice dude. I left off from that conversation as he's going to be down. Right now, I know building mode. I know what that's like.
Okay.
I wouldn't even ask right now. But once this is rolling, I would bet money he would come on. I would.
Yeah, so Pauly, if you're watching this, if you're giving away $20 million in rewards, we are the ones that are talking about it. So gimme. And we'll givvies.
He did tweet out, actually, it might have been H Wonder, but tweeted out that they'll put a $10,000 bounty on anybody who's making like an FAQ and making a tutorial. Be like, dude, we'll make it. We'll take that $10,000 bounty.
Before we get into the drama, it's so weird. On this show, I joke a lot about like gimme stuff, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to make the money or whatever.
Yeah.
I swear to God, am I the only person that doesn't actually do these weird behind closed doors skeevy bullshit? Despite me joking about it a lot, I always feel a little bit creepy about doing it on the show. But I swear to God, the more I'm in the space, everyone else does it. I don't fucking get it. So
everyone,
yeah,
I've never. It's so weird. I know people with smaller accounts than me that get those opportunities. I don't think I've ever had one. I've had them. I've had some. You have?
I've had opportunities where it was very simple stuff. Like if you're working in a business, you don't do something dumb, right? Like, but you know, like I have thoughts on it, I guess is what my point is. My thought, okay, so when you're working in the NFT business, right? If you're working in a project or something like that, and you're responsible or a straight shooter, which I pride myself on being and loyal and whatever. There are projects that will just be like, here, take this or have that or whatever. And I always said no. Like, even I don't even know if I could have, you know what I mean? But like people that I work with, like, oh, is it okay? And I'm like, let's not do that just because there might be a conflict of interest, and let's not fucking do that. Now, my hot take is this. Fuck, man, maybe you should. You know what I mean? Like, because once that job is over and you look back on all of the opportunities that you could have done, not just saying like, oh, free givvies, but also like just being engaged in the space, airdrops, all that sort of stuff. When you're not engaged, you lose out on a lot of those opportunities. And sometimes you really wish that you didn't lose those opportunities.
Yep.
So whatever, just wanted to say that.
I'll tell you this. I wrestle with it. I really do. Because when I see people who are making money and it's not insignificant money, sometimes, especially when the market's cooking, it's crazy. In fact, okay, I saw a tweet the other day. It's like one of those Max Payne kind of tweets. Like, remember when people used to like have multiple jobs, like $10,000 a month to be like a Discord mod or some shit like that?
Yeah. 10,000 a month. Yeah.
And it was crazy and it was unrealistic. And man, that's not even, some of them paid a lot more than that. It was wild. But I'm like, people don't realize that's kind of still happening to a degree. Kind of, maybe not that much, but at the right mint it does. But there's other work that goes on in the space that pays a lot. Again, it's a lot of people that do it, a lot. And it just happens more often than people think. And I'll tell you, this is maybe my point. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, damn, that'd be nice. That'd be fucking nice. Yeah, I don't know. With that said, that's a big part of the drama that's going on here. Okay, so what is here? Okay, this is separate from all the decentralized stuff. This is goes back to last week with Raktoshi, the founder of the Node Monks, coming out and saying he co-founded the Ordinals protocol.
Didn't Casey Rodemort do that or something like that?
Yeah. And so Casey came out and tweeted that no, Raktoshi was not part of it. There's more to the story. There was definitely some involvement at some level, but Casey was really clear, not at the code writing level, not at the ideas level. He was part of this company that we spun up for a couple months that ended up doing nothing. Like, we didn't use it. We dissolved it. It was nothing. But then that suddenly turned into like Raktoshi continues to lie, and he's attacked Casey and tried to like extort him or blackmail him to get paid like $5 million for that few months where he was part of that company. Even though again,
he was part of the company.
He was part of that company, but that Casey said was just not. It didn't do anything. They didn't need it. He just spun it up because he thought you'd need it for this kind of thing, and he's like, we don't. But that also then there's, I guess, a pattern of Raktoshi extorting people and blackmailing and all that. And so those are the accusations. Raktoshi, bad guy. Bad guy is the conversation out there. And there's some people, quite a few, that actually step up and defend the guy. That actually defend him.
There's always someone that defends somebody, isn't it?
It's a lot of people too defending him.
Is it Raktoshi 21?
That might be. He was in the spaces here that English is hosting. Let me see if he's still up there. Let's see if he's still up. Dude, it's so laggy. I can't tell if it's because the space is so. There's like 900 people in that thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Hang on. I might just have to refresh it. Okay, let me pull it off.
So
okay.
This guy has a history of extorting people.
Yes, and there's been very lengthy posts and examples from really reputable people in the space saying, yes, did that to me too. And it's people that you're like, dude, if they're saying it, I kind of trust it. That's kind of that's the vibe I get out there. I'll say this too, especially after hearing him on the space, because Raktoshi did hop into the space. Again, let me find it because I want to hop in and we'll play some of the audio here. Nice. Cool shit. Okay, he was up in the space. I've got good senses. I just always have had good senses. I'm good at reading people and, just like feeling out whatever. Hang on, that spaces isn't over, is it? No, it's not over. When I heard Raktoshi talk, it doesn't look like he's in there still. When I heard him talk, okay, well, I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Part of this drama is coming from, hang on, Leonidas. Leonidas came out, the guy behind Dog came out and said, I also believe, and maybe he knows, that the Raktoshi guy's a piece of shit. He's like, I think he's a piece of shit, and I'm going to talk about it because we need to get him out of this space. He is so fucking toxic and dangerous and all that stuff. And
is he dangerous? I just sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Is he dangerous? Like, when you say extortion, doesn't there need to be something heavy in order to extort someone with that information? Like,
I'm going to sue you and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like threats, like pretty serious threats against some of these people.
Threats?
I'll sue you. You know, stuff like that. He told Casey he would sue him to get that $5 million. And Casey's like, there's no $5 million. We didn't make any money. There's no money. There's a lot of stuff like that. So Leonidas took it a little step further, and he started going after people who defended Raktoshi, which happens to be maybe some of these guys. I don't remember who. It was definitely Polymath. I don't know if it was Good Things. I don't remember if it was English, but he came out and was like, any of you defending him, you probably got paid. Node Monks paid you guys because that's why you're so positive. I don't know if it's that, to be honest. It might be guys protecting their bags, and they've met him in person. He's probably a nice guy. But, man, I found some of the most manipulative people are really nice. And they're really good at twisting these stories and confusing people who aren't wiser. And when I tuned into this and I heard Raktoshi speaking, and it was about the subject they were speaking on too. I'm like, dude, I got the brain tingles. I'm like, this guy seems scared. This guy feels bad. I instantly took Leonidas' side, just the vibe thing. I'm like, I know this kind of person. So that's like setting the stage for where I lean. I lean towards, I think Raktoshi's probably a bad guy. And it doesn't mean a bad guy can't be also very, very good, maybe even most of the time. You know what I mean? Like there's people can play both sides. I don't know if it makes you a bad person. I don't know. He maybe has a serious character flaw. And also, I don't know the guy. I ultimately don't know, but that's my feel on it, you know?
When you say bad guy, are you saying that he's dangerous? Or are you saying that he is just a guy, like a guy that does shady things within this ecosystem that you should be concerned about? Liar, cheater, that type of guy.
Sometimes that stuff crosses over to be like a little more harmful because like the emotional toll that can take, like accusations, like saying you're going to sue somebody for $5 million or whatever. And if you're feeling like you did nothing wrong and you would win it, still being dragged through that stuff sucks. Like that's to me is dangerous. But the fact that it's not just one person it happened to, being Casey, but that it was like 3, 4, 5 examples of people who were just, man, it was like this long drawn out process of him like harassing in DMs and being very, very, you know, like a certain kind of way that made him feel terrible for a long time. I'm like, that's gross. And that's what I mean by dangerous. Like, has an effect, you know? Yeah. I kind of want to check in. You want to peek at the audio real quick or hear it and just see what?
Sure. So you're saying, so as far as I'm known, drama started off just with the discussion of who started the Ordinals protocol. During that time, Leonidas called out Raktoshi and then whoever was kind of supporting him and calling out that Node Monks must have paid these guys for them to stand up, stick up, and speak nicely upon this guy that's clearly a bad guy in his guys' eyes. Is that fair to say?
That's it. And these guys defended themselves. They're like, weren't paid. We were not paid. And even if he's like, and you can't tell us who we can and can't be friends with, it's like reasonable takes all around too, by the way, like there is. But Leonidas is really digging, and he's like, I get it, guys. I get it. But I like, he's ultimately, Leonidas is like, I'm not going to stand by and allow this guy in the space who I know. It's not like I think he's bad and dangerous. I know he is. Maybe I can't reveal all the details, but he's like, I know it. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we get him out of this space. It's spicy. It's also a huge freaking bummer that this is what we all focus on. Me too, right? That this overshadows Magma. And like Pauly said, he doesn't even need the attention. It's going to do phenomenally regardless, but that this overshadows the Doodles stuff, you know, world premiere of their animation at the Toronto Film Fest. And we're going to get to that too, but that this is what captures all the attention. It's a bummer. This is all we are, is just drama. That's all the space is.
Well, let's check in and hear what they're saying.
Let's check it.
Do I have to be quiet?
You're good. No echo, right?
Not as far as I know, but I'm not hearing anything.
You don't hear? God damn it. Do you guys hear it that are watching? Hang on. No, I
do. We don't hear it, says Lemon. What's up, Lemon? No audio here.
That's so weird. Everybody should hear it. What the fuck? I had all this working so nicely too. No audio. All right, idea.
Here's us. That's what's important. Awful.
That's all that matters. All right. I got the backup option. I'm so glad, by the way, like we did the Space Marine Friday at work. I'm so fucking glad we got it. Here we
go. Oh, thanks, Lemon. Have you been listening for long? I don't know. First time listener.
Even people who know
you hear that, I'm sure.
Good things had to ask, hey, are you getting paid? And you weren't disclosing it. And it was because you have a certain gravity. And it's not that you should pull your punches if you feel something, but maybe do the due diligence first and get like the first actual answer. And because it seems you're satisfied now with the answer. You weren't satisfied because they weren't, or Good Things wasn't answering specifically. He was waiting for this space to make it very clear. So it's just that was, I think, a lot of the thought behind this. That
okay, no echo. I hope not.
Like, you're an influential leader, Good Things, Polymath, maybe to a certain extent, and myself, and just being a nascent ecosystem that we all really enjoy, and a lot of people came over from like a toxic like ETH culture, that it behooves all of us just to be a little bit thoughtful on how we approach this.
Yeah, look, I very much appreciate the feedback.
This sounds boring.
No, it's exactly what I want to hear.
I am not like, Aaron is probably less confrontational than I am. I am going to deal with this in a different way. Okay. I'm not going to let him do this to the ecosystem. And I apologize if I'm offending people, and I understand there's a line. Look, I'm making
but the line,
my stance.
But the line,
and I understand that that might
Aaron might be Casey Rodamore's girlfriend,
let's all
and maybe backing up that
Toshi
story
again.
that Leonidas has.
I'm sorry that you're offended. I'm still going to reply to that and make my stance clear. And you can ignore it. You can do whatever you want.
But Leonidas,
for the long-term benefit of the ecosystem.
I wasn't pointing out your stance. It was the fact that like you almost think that you make a comment that somebody else, that maybe their integrity is not what most people thinks because they associate with Raktoshi. That's what I was referring to, not your specific stance on Raktoshi, about other people, like a guilty by association type of thing. Like maybe you didn't intend that, but it seemed that way.
Yeah, to be clear.
Chime in whenever, Joe, by the way.
Well, this is really hard for me to listen to, Hudah. It's really hard. And it's really hard for me to talk. And because I just want to just go ballistic and
do it. Go ballistic.
I run a very successful business. I live a very great life. I'm very fortunate, very blessed.
By the way, did all the streams on X end? I got a notification here in StreamYard that there was an issue. That'd be bullshit. But Joe, like if you're feeling a kind of way, even if you just don't want to hear it, that's fine.
Okay, so this is what I would say. Oh God. Okay, so I'll try to be careful. So Leonidas is calling these people out. I hear English saying like, you need to be more careful about who you're I'm assuming accusing of being whatever. And all I'll say to that is, from what I've heard, is that Leonidas should have those feelings. It does seem as if his instincts a lot of times are probably pretty strong. I don't know Leonidas. Actually, I've heard FUD about Leonidas around the Crypto Skull situation.
That's right. That was, these guys were pushing back for that very reason. You're accusing people of taking payments and then shilling shit, but that's exactly what his reputation is.
Right. And Gary was involved with that. I don't know if you remember that.
Crypto Skulls.
What's that?
With Crypto Skulls, right?
Yeah. Gary was like buying them and talking about them, and Leonidas was part of that whole situation. So I remember that pretty clearly. I did not buy a skull, but my point is that like it's like Scream 2.0. My point is that like, to me, what seems to be happening, and I don't want to get into specifics because I'm the last guy in this whole thing that should be talking about anything, but it also seems as if I'm looking at a fucking charade in front of me, and I don't do well with that. And what I'm saying is that like, it does seem as if, yeah. What'd you say? I
said spit it out. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, sorry guys. I'm sorry because I'm held to certain things that I can't talk about. Hudah, you know this. Like, if anything, I have to be the one that's being careful here, and I can't talk about it. But my point is that like, the Ordinals ecosystem, to me, it seems as if there's financial aspects of it that people want to keep surviving and thriving, but it does seem as if a lot of the players in this are really fucking sketchy assholes. And he was talking about like, oh, coming from the sketchy ETH background, which I'm sure that their ETH was sketchy as shit too. I came from VFriends. People like to say it was like they call it Gary or whatever. He ran his shit like a business, though. It's not like we were doing any fucking stupid shit. Like I said, I was always up front, never did anything out of line. Like we ran it as if we were a business. We weren't doing anything weird. And so I know that there are ETH projects that go and handle business in an appropriate and a positive way. And so the Ordinal shit, there's not much shit going on there, but it does seem as if it was an opportunity for some people that aren't the most honest, trustworthy people to get involved. And they must be doing something. They must be thriving in some way in that ecosystem. And people are not speaking truth to that power because they're afraid that everything will go crumbling down. And it's really hard because I am not involved in any of it, but it does seem as if like the people that can say shit don't say shit.
I'm in that camp. I'm definitely in that camp. And like,
Jazz.
I know that's beautiful. By the way, it looks like everything, like spaces and video feeds. It looks like all of them crashed because I see their show just restarted up. 69 listeners right now, so everything crashed. They're back up now though, which is cool. So you're right. I know way more than I say for sure, and I don't want to say it because I kind of look at. There's gonna be a time at some point where I absolutely can say anything and will. I'm too close to everything, right? Like I want to be like more responsible. Like I want to cover the space without not blowing it up because I can't blow anything up. Like I don't know that much.
Here's the thing: I want to blow it up. I'm of the perspective we are an honest, upfront show.
There's not a lot of people in Ordinals,
and holding my tongue about any of this stuff seems very difficult for me to do. And like Jazz says, I sound like a girlfriend deciding where I want to eat, or just trying to say something without actually fucking saying it. And I babble and like.
I want to thank you a lot. I know it takes a lot to get on a spaces. I can understand the
yeah, I guess I would just say to some degree, like this is tricky. Struggle to know who's telling the truth. To assume to some degree nobody is. Assume that. I mean that.
Lemon, I'm telling the truth.
Joe's telling the truth. Just assume that this is a for a lot of people a once in a lifetime opportunity to make a lot of money, and nobody wants to hurt that. I think I'll just say that's my read on the space. That's my read on it. I think very little you're seeing out there is organic. Hell, even Beanie talked about that this morning. He's like, you guys see like the influencers and know that they're motivated by their wallets. But also they're not even the ones, they're not powerful enough to really direct where this stuff goes. It's happening even higher than them at like the VC level, even beyond higher than that. He's like, there's guys who literally control the narratives on the L1s. And he's like, man, it's just that they're even fucking with you. They're the ones literally not lying. It's probably a bad way to put it, but they're the ones directing the conversation. They're telling you what the narratives are and what things matter. And it trickles down from there. The influencers just attach on.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, and I don't want to, but at least someone like Pauly, who is, in my opinion, pretty vile and gross and a shitty person, like at least you kind of get where he's coming from. Like you're not getting, and I don't know if he probably lies. I don't know, but if someone is like that and then is just upfront about their shittiness and they put it out there, at least you know what you're getting. I don't like the people that like, oh, you think I'm involved in this thing and you think that I'm getting paid for stuff and I don't blah blah blah. Oh, not me. What are you thinking of? Why are you thinking that I would do that? Blah blah blah. You need to see this. He's gaslighting people, being like, oh, don't believe the real stuff that you see. You're crazy type shit. I hate that.
I know. I assume there's a lot of payment going on in all kinds of forms. And then on top of that, what makes it even trickier, even if you're not being paid, and maybe often enough nobody's being paid, but then the next level is you're protecting your bags. You're not going to go destroy your potential. This is not little wealth we're talking about. We're talking about assets that are worth $5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand. And if you got a multiple of those, you're not going to talk shit about this thing that has the chance to make you six figures, maybe more, depending on how much you have. Like nobody's going to do it. And I'll tell you this, as somebody who, man, I try to be as good and reputable and all that as I could. I would struggle with that if I know I put myself in that position. Would I come out and I won't even come out and say everything right now. If I had like $250,000 riding on it, would I come out and speak the truth if it killed the value of my shit? I don't know. I'd like to think I would, but I don't know if I would. I don't.
The good news for me is that no one's deemed it a good idea to bring me in to anything in which I could affect the pricing of it. And so I can speak my truth to all of this sort of stuff. Like I can't, the only thing I don't speak on fully is probably like the NDA that I have with VFriends. Like I obviously can't talk about certain things when it comes to like the business aspect of that stuff. But other than that, like, I think it's like, it seems just so shitty in the space right now. And it seems so fucking shady and so lame. And it seems like just a bunch of fucking kids just being like, because here's the problem. If someone's getting paid,
I really didn't like
be paid. You get paid. Just don't fucking lie about it. Like, that's what makes it shady as shit.
I wonder why that's such a big problem to just be like fully transparent about what you're getting paid. Is it because then it's taxes, and then you're worried about if the SEC decides this or that, then you're under the gun?
No, I think what it is that there's people out here, and I'm only, let me speak to the Ordinals right now, or everything. I'm saying, but like, there's people out here, it seems, that are making money on this stuff and are pretending like they care about the projects or, blah, blah, blah. But they're just really they're caring about making money. And so if they told people that they're getting paid, then it'll be shitty if they go to the next thing. And it'll like you can follow their shittiness. But like, it's kind of like someone that cheats. If they're married and they cheat, what would be better for you to do, man? Get a divorce and then go cheat on everybody and no one gives a fuck. That's what I'm thinking. Like these people that are like afraid to tell people stuff.
There's no benefit from this for me. I just want the dude out of the ecosystem so he's not hurting people.
Good point, man. By the way, breaking news. Really sad breaking news. Breaking news. God damn it. This is sad. And I wish I had the theme song. Darth Vader died. Darth Vader died, bro. God damn it.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, some of these guys, I'm always surprised that they like made it so long. I'm not surprised he made it so long, but it's like I knew he's an old dude a long while back. Yeah.
He was that age when we were like 10 years old. Like he looked like he was 75.
He looks the same right now. He does. Unless maybe that's an old picture, but
yeah.
Dude, he made it to 93. I saw Dick Van Dyke is still kicking it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope I live in my 90. I hope I live forever, man.
You might
ever.
Yeah, you might. Weren't we talking about recently that shit? We were talking. Maybe it was over the weekend. We were talking about that they've got that tech, or they're really, really fucking close to it. Random as hell. I've been going on a Art Bell bender lately. Do you ever listen to Art Bell?
No.
Oh man, you know who he is, right?
No.
Oh, man. He died years back, but he's a big old. He's like the OG, like alien dude and conspiracy theory kind of stuff in that ballpark, right?
And you're shocked that I don't know this?
Well, I mean, he was pretty damn big. Coast to Coast was his radio show, like old school, like AM radio.
Yeah.
Like when we were growing up and stuff. I've been every night for the past maybe week. I go to bed listening to old radio shows. It's so relaxing. It's so freaking fun. Yeah, F in the chat, guys. Come on. Darth Vader. He's a Force ghost now.
Legend.
Freaking legend. I like your comments about Pauly. That's mostly like that's the part that I resonate with. You know what I mean? Like I am
I'm not saying I
confident.
like the guy. I'm not saying I like the guy. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying like what I don't like is shady bullshit. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like that he usually is calling that kind of shit out. I love that. I love that part. But yeah, when he's tweeting something, at least with him when he's being like a goofball and he's like engagement farming and that kind of stuff, I can usually tell. Like it's so outlandish, I can tell. Or it's like with him, I can tell, and I know it's part of the game. But nothing's real here.
Nothing is real, and that's a really good point. Yeah, there's nothing real, and you pull back the curtain, and it's a bunch of guys, dorkier than I don't want to say dorkier than us, but just unimpressive. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You're unimpressed when you look back there and you see a bunch of guys juggling and running on fucking hamster wheels and like just not giving two shits. And you're spending thousands of dollars on whatever you're spending. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's fucked up.
Do you remember, especially when we first got in this space, it was early enough that it was a tiny ass space, tiny. And everybody talked this big ass game, like what their title was and what they do and what they like. Everybody tried to reinvent themselves in this space. And it didn't take long. You would get on calls and talk to people. You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, wait, you're kidding me. Like, you're not a person who's ever done marketing. You've never been a chief whatever officer before. You've never like you're like some dude in your mom's basement right now, LARPing and trying to like reinvent yourself real quick before people can catch on. That's the space. That's it.
Yeah.
And people have been able to keep it up for a few years where they could accumulate enough wealth now to actually be that character. And to some degree, life is fake it till you make it. It's like if you put yourself in a position in your head, you can get yourself there by doing that. That's actually the the right approach. But
you know, remember when I was just talking a little bit a while ago about like how I wasn't sure what, like, if I should have taken advantage of the opportunities while I was working and stuff like that. Like I just chose not to do that. God, yeah, you're right. People have been getting money and like, what the fuck have I been doing? You know, like, what are we doing? Hudah, we've been such good little boys and girls here. And why? You know, like I can sleep at night. I feel good about myself. I can speak my mind as I want to.
Yeah.
I don't hide shit, but yeah, like it would be nice to be like, like you said, if you had the ability to drop your price from $250, like $1,000, like, yeah, sure. It'd be nice to like have been stacking my money. Is it better to be good or is it better to be wealthy? I don't know what I don't know.
I feel like it's better to be good. And I feel like in the long run, it's more worth it. In the long run, I think you feel better about yourself. And
let's
I think it pays off.
Let's see if we succeed with the show. Yeah.
Yeah. We find out in 5 years, 10 years, but I think in the long run, it evens out or you end up ahead. You ever notice in the cycles? And it's not even just like the full cycle. I'm not talking about from 21 till now. It's usually there's like these, I don't know, 18 months or maybe it's 2 years, but you see a different batch of influencers come up, right? It's like the old ones burn out and it's a whole new batch of names that come up and become the next crop of influencers. And I feel like it's something to do with this. Like, you make some money and then when things go to shit, because you weren't real, like I think it fucks with your brain and they don't come back. They usually don't come back. There's maybe something there.
One of the things that when I was working was important is that like these anonymous people, I mean, even remember like when I was working, I would talk to Carlini, like, well, how do I navigate a lot of these projects? And he was like, a lot of times with these projects, if they're anonymous, you have to be fucking really worried about what is going on with that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like it'd be a rug and blah, blah, blah. And so like that anonymous stuff is still true. You know what I mean? Like anonymous people are anonymous a lot of times for a reason. And a lot of times it's not for the best reasons, just to stay safe or whatever. So,
yep. Blazin, I heard you, I think it was you, right? Blazin on Leonidas' space this morning, talking about decentralized and sticking up for the Kongs, which kudos to you, dude. Honestly, that was like big balls from you to do that in a space like that was pretty heated.
So let's get into that, by the way. I mean, let's talk a little bit about Kongs and fucking Henry. What the fuck, man?
Maybe he'll pop in. Let's ping him.
Ping him.
I'm going to ping him right now.
Ugh. Now, can you tell me what the issues here? Can you tell me about the Kongs? Is this related to what we've been talking about?
I think no. Actually, I think no, and this is what sucks. Because that other stuff does happen where you can't trust it, right? Kongs are getting lumped in with that, and I can tell you they're about the cleanest thing out there. And I'm close enough to know that people question their intentions. The Kongs come out and say they spent $1 million, and you're telling me they didn't pay their team and they didn't have a big old pile that they made a whole bunch of, like nobody believes them. I'm like, I think with them, without knowing for sure, I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm like, I think with them, it probably was that. It probably
what are people saying? Like, so from what I know, people were pissed about getting decentralized.
Yep.
They're saying it's a rug that they took on that responsibility to have that, and now they just were like, poof, you're gone. And I understand the FUD that comes along with that. But what is is today just an extension or an ongoing snowball effect of that?
Yeah, well, picture this. So I've been in their Discord since Friday chatting and seeing what people are saying, but today's the first day since that people could talk. Like, really not a lot happens on the weekend show-wise, right? Like the big shows. So today was actually like, we got to cover early on the weekend, or I'm sorry, on Friday afternoon. Like, it was really fresh then. Most of the shows had already happened, so they didn't get to dive in.
Right.
Today was the first time it happened. So you got the full wrath of the community today.
Yeah, okay.
So Leonidas' show probably went 2.5 hours, and again, it's accusations and people not believing the Kongs and people not liking the messaging and
not believing what.
So a few things. I know Leonidas would stick up for them specifically about people calling it a cash grab, right? That it was a cash grab. Again,
what's a cash grab? What's a cash grab? Decentralized.
Decentralized. Yeah, just coming into Bitcoin, dropping stuff, and then exiting, and people being like, well, they did that on purpose. They came in with this motive, with a motivation of yanking money out of there, finding a way to extract it. Leonidas is like, you know what? You could say whatever you want about how they exited and this and that. He's like, but that I don't buy. That I don't see. I've met with the guys before. I've talked to them. They seem like good guys. That's the one thing he took issue with is the cash grab comment. So there's that. But I even think Leonidas got parts of his take, his stance, whatever. I think he got parts of that wrong. So specifically there, he did not like that the Kongs came in and did a thing, and he thinks set an expectation that they're going to do a lot more, right? Sure. Like if somebody of the Kong size comes in this space, better believe people think you're in here to do the Cyber Kongs thing and pushing now on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I disagreed with him instantly. I'm like, I remember, again, being close enough, I've paid attention to the messaging. I will say, I don't think they were great with the messaging on X. I don't think they posted it in any official way that made this stick, but they were clear to me, at least from the beginning, that they were only here to do something cool and that it ended with dropping the rune. That was my takeaway from it. That's how I remember it. And to me, that's exactly what their intention was. Come in, do Prometheans, drop the rune, and once the rune's out there, buy. That was always the attention. What do you remember from the start?
So, okay, so first, I think that the accusations for the Kongs were that it was a rug and that there was a cash grab. Are those the accusations?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep. That's right. Is there any accusation that there was payment or anything like that, or what was that situation?
Yeah. So on the Leonidas space, there was talk about people were really quick to bring up the list of advisors. Like, who advised you guys to do this? And also, didn't they get paid? And I'll say this: well, I've heard a couple of the advisors come out and say, no, we didn't get paid. And I don't know. Typically the way those things work is they do in some form, some way, shape, form. They do. They said they didn't, and I don't know. Truthfully, don't know.
Has Henry weighed in on this on Discord?
No. I think he's been pretty. He's definitely been in Discord, but he hasn't been super, super active. I think it's just like he's unplugging a bit from it, and he'll come back when. I said this to you before the show. I think he's not directly. What's the word? I think he's ready to engage this when people are ready to listen. Because again, right now, it doesn't matter what they say. People are going to say you're lying and I don't believe you. So like, what's the point of wasting your energy when right now people don't believe anything? It's kind of a waste. That's my take. He's not said that.
Here's what I remember about it. My recollection was, boy, Kongs are stupid for doing this, to be honest with you.
The backing out of it?
No, yes, that too. But I'm talking about in the beginning.
Dropping
beginning
it.
Being like, they're making a play for provenance with doing the runes, and I didn't think that was necessarily smart because I didn't necessarily know how they were going to get paid. And what's wrong with getting paid? If they're doing something and they want to get paid, then they should get paid. There's not like they're not breaking the law about stuff, cash grab or anything like that. But nice. So they paid $1 million to try to get this rune etched. So to create the decentralized coin, right? Then I don't think that they got much money from secondary sales of Prometheans, did they?
I think that's one of the questions as far as what did the team get. That some people are saying, well, the Kongs team probably kept a whole bunch of Prometheans to then sell.
Sure.
Right. On secondary. We don't know if they did or didn't. I don't know if they've spoken on that. They might have, and I've missed it. I'm not sure, but that's one of the accusations. So like that's how they made their money. Okay. It's that or in the airdrop, like the allocations, they're like, 4% of the decentralized supply went to the team and this went to this, and that might be that might not be the accurate number, but it's something like that. They're just saying the team
So there was
gave
a
themselves
break.
an airdrop.
Yeah. So they got paid on some level with decentralized something or other. They kept some. We don't know if they sold it. We don't know what they did with it. Right?
We don't even know if they kept any. We don't I think we don't know at all. But that's the accusation, is they made money that way.
And I know from not specific memories that Henry was like, yeah, we're not really doing this for any, we're not really getting anything from this. But I do remember that they had decentralized coin, didn't they? They must have had some decentralized coin. And I'm not sure if they sold or what they did, but I don't necessarily know what's nefarious about that. If anything, they etched it. They didn't get a ton of money of it. They didn't dump. There wasn't any like talk of like they fucking floored it and There wasn't anything like that. So they etched the rune. They got number 2. They got decentralized. They airdropped it to everybody. All I know about airdrops is when we airdropped, it cost a fucking shit ton of money to airdrop to people, and you don't get anything from it. And it makes the people that get it's life so much easier rather than a claim, safer, all that stuff.
It shows that extra level of care, the fact that you're going to airdrop it instead of a claim, right?
Absolutely. It's just such a nice thing for the consumer to have that. But and then when they did the PFP, honestly, like for me, I was like, PFP, it seems, whatever. But that, in my mind, CyberKongs does CyberKong shit, which is Web3 PFPs, they might, in my mind, like they do a lot of shit. I'm not a super fan of like that type of stuff, like games and but it's just Web3 shit. You know what I mean? And I write it off to that. And I didn't see anything wrong with that. That's cool. They didn't get paid. They were doing decentralized. People that bought decentralized to buy the stuff obviously would get pissed. Completely understand and sympathize with that.
Yep.
But as far as like them getting paid, I'm sure they did. I don't know if they did. I know they didn't get paid hand over foot. I wish they did. I wanted them to.
My guess though, Joe, is they didn't. My guess is they didn't get paid. I don't think they did. What I remember, could be wrong, but this is just what I remember, is anything that was kept for them, like airdrop wise, right, I think was to help them get on exchanges. So maybe it's like to give to an exchange to make like a liquidity pool or something like that. Like that's what I think. And I don't know if it's true, but.
And my negative take on, because you were saying like, oh, they just said that they were doing fun stuff, blah, blah, blah. My take is that they were stressed out and did not want to deal with the hassle of decentralized anymore. And so they're wiping their hands clean of it. And that's why they did that. And I'm sure that they knew FUD was coming from that, but I don't want to do revisionist history and like be like, no, they didn't promise anything. If you do that, the promise is, it's like in real estate, there's like the verbal, it's just like, it's a verbal understanding, a verbal contract that you make with a consumer, and that enacts different,
Kinda. But I'll tell you why I say kinda, because I actually agree. I do agree. But they messed up by changing the messaging, because the messaging at first was definitely, it's the rune, nothing else. It was definitely that. That was absolutely how it was talked about. I just don't remember if it was announced that way, like a tweet from the CyberKongs or decentralized saying, it's the rune, nothing else. But then I remember after like 2-3 weeks, even after they definitely said it in Discord, that's it.
Yeah.
After a few weeks, people hounded them, being like, what's next? What's next? What are you going to do? You got to do something. And that's when I know Henry was talking about. He's like, well, let's think of what we can do. And ultimately they settled on this line. It was give the people what they want.
No, I get it.
Remember that? And then I'm like, well, what did they want? They thought the community wanted a PFP. That was the speculation, that you're going to use the Promethean or you're going to buy that. That was what actually got to the next stage. They're like, fuck it. Let's do a PFP.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in those meetings, and for me, if I was in that meeting, I'd be like, fucking another PFP. Are we kidding me? There's got to be something cooler that we can fucking do. So that's just me being critical of Kongs, but like, I get it. Like I said, I always write Kongs off to be like, that's Web3 grungy, like the small world type shit. But yeah, dude, like, yeah, for me, it was like, they just did it. They fucking, they did it in a way, to me, they did do it properly. They did it in a way for the community. And if you made money, that's great. And I wish that they made money. And I don't think that they did either. But on top of that, they should have known that this FUD was coming, and they should embrace that. They have to embrace it. I don't think that they did anything nefarious other than like, you can't fucking do that with the coin and just like just drop out of the responsibility of it.
Yep.
If you're gonna do it, then you're in it for the long haul. You know how this fucking works. Let's go. But also, I'm not critical of the Kongs for necessarily doing that. I mean, I'm critical, but like, I don't think it's a game over for them. You know what I mean? Because they are such a big project, and they need to fucking realize that, you know, like as grungy as they are, like they do have to have that responsibility of knowing that if you're doing that, you can't just fucking say bye-bye, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it'll come out. I think people will warm up to this whole thing. I think it'll come out that they really were good. The good guys somehow, you know what I mean? Like the intentions were good. I'm with you. I don't think it was handled well throughout the release, right? And especially it's awesome. Yeah. Especially the exit went great. But what? I think they'll be totally fine. And I really do think decentralized is better with where it's going. And I think it's already playing out that way. The fact that Mutable Trees already said they want to take it over.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yeah, pump that, baby.
Yep. And there was another project that said already, they didn't even ask permission. They just said, we're going to go and use this for this. Oh, and I guarantee Henry would be like, fuck yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. We didn't want you guys sitting back and waiting for us to do everything. We wanted you to just go and do it. Just no permission, just do it. That's the point.
Is that kind of Pudgy Penguin style? Was that the one that was like, something was bought by the community? What was that?
That was that was Pudgy too. Yeah, Pudgy's did that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, did you see the comment? I think on one of our YouTube vids. I mean, it's like the only comment, so it's like, you know, whatever. But they were like, "Oh, someone was like, fucking Henry on the show said after the show that he would tell me and you tell us about decentralized or something like that." Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
So I think he was. I think on Friday's show, Henry was like, yeah, we're doing something with decentralized. I'll let you guys know after the show. And we like shut the camera off or something, which I do. Even at that time, I was like, oh, that's, you know, like weird to even put it that way, because that makes it sound kind of weirdly, you know, I don't know, sounds weird or whatever. But like part of me was like, well, you know, I'm not sure the ethics on that sort of thing. All I can tell you is that like I didn't do anything with any of the stuff that I got from Henry. Didn't sell anything. I sold one palm like back when I got it, but I still have all the decentralized that came with it. Yeah. I don't do anything, especially when someone tells me about any information. I'm never going to do anything like sell or anything like that. So
dude, that's funny but there is,
I don't know if you did or not. So I don't know.
No.
Okay. Whatever.
No. In fact, I couldn't even tell people how much I've sold, because it was either nothing or next to nothing, like very, 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 very little. I couldn't even quantify it. It's not enough that it would like register anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and reason being, I've literally been holding for like an exchange listing and like a $250 million market cap. I'm one of those guys who just assumes the whole ecosystem's pumping. I'm like, why would I sell when I think this thing's going to be like, shit, it started at 100 mil. I think this is going to be 250 mil. Always holding for that. So didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do think like, you know, like I probably wouldn't put it that way. Like, hey guys, I got to tell you a secret. Let's shut the camera.
Right.
You've done that before, I think. Like, let me tell you about something that's juicy. Let me turn the camera. That's not fair for the audience to be like, that's not cool. But like on any sort of like ethical level, I would just like, me and you guys are pretty good friends. So like, there's not anything like, we're never going to take advantage of information that we have that, you know, like other people don't.
It's a good point, because that's one of those things when I try explaining, you know, what this space is, just believe that that's the whole space, and that most people are playing with a whole different set of info. It is a lot of what this space is, and not everybody's got good intentions. Not everybody. It's kind of part of that whole conversation. It's you know, it's an unfortunate part of the space, I guess.
Is Henry getting his ass ripped in Discord and on all these social?
Yeah, definitely. And the cool thing is, people have spoken up about Henry and his character, which is awesome. And we know, like, obviously we know him, and he is a very high character person. But of course he's getting it from people who don't know him and wouldn't believe that stuff. Nobody's going to believe that, but he's definitely getting that, and he's getting it. Discord's quieted down a little bit. It's settled down because now there's other places to direct that to, right? Sure. The spaces and stuff are starting to rock. It's been a lot of that. And yeah, I think it dies off soon, just because people are going to move on to the next thing, especially if the market turns around. No one's going to give a shit soon.
Yeah. And Henry, you know, what sucks is that like, it would have been nice to have Henry here. I mean, I do think, like I said, you know, it's an opportunity to talk about it on a day that I think needs to be talked about a little bit. But he's been so emotional in the game. Remember Decentralized when he was going through it the first time around? I actually talked about this semi recently when he had the Adidas drops and they were selling out and he was all happy. I was like, remember how fucking shitty it was when you had the Decentralized stuff? Like he emotionally got pretty beat up about the whole thing. And so I understand that he was like not feeling well today, but yeah, I would have nice to chatted with him. Maybe I would have tried to bust his balls a little bit, but
I know you'll get your chance. It'll probably be tomorrow, as much as he'll want to or not want to talk about it, which I get, but you'll have your chance. Don't you worry.
Just can you imagine if like on Twitter timeline, everyone's like, fucking, did you guys see Joe fucked Joe was naked and he was fucking jerking off in a fucking, you know, like, oh, he was fucking, you see that thing? He stuck up his ass, you know, and then like, I'm like, and then you're like, you come to the show and like, it's like this, you know, like,
yeah.
No, Joe's not there today. He's fucking scared. So I just, you know, it'd be nice to have that sort of, you know, days like this, it's like we gotta fucking show up.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely say this stuff isn't the reason he's not here. Like, it's definitely not the reason he's not here.
The reason, but
it's not the reason. I think
it's not helping though. It's not.
Oh no, definitely not helping. He did say he should be here tomorrow, but no, he definitely was sick yesterday, like up all night with stomach issues. So, it's part of the reason. I would say that. I think that's fair to just assume here.
I would just say, like, man, come take shits on our show. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be cool. I don't really have bullish bearish today, by the way, other than my boy Ashton Forbes. I'm not going to get too Orby on you guys. In fact, there's no new Orby news, but I think he pointed out something interesting. That guy, Lou Elizondo, the guy who's been making the rounds on all these alien shows, writing podcasts and stuff with all this new alien disclosure stuff. I don't think he buys that guy's story. Ashton doesn't. Reason being, this guy Lou is trying to pretend like he doesn't know who Ashton Forbes is and hasn't heard the story. I'm talking about guys warp drives and being teleported and wormholes and crazy shit. The Lou guy's been asked if he knows Ashton Forbes in this whole story, and he says, no, I don't know anything about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. But he knows. I think he said they either had met once, and he knows this guy has seen the story, and he feels like this guy is actually part of like a disinfo campaign, which I think is interesting. I like it. So more juicy stuff if you're into that stuff like Joe is. He doesn't shut up about it.
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
a little much.
I mean, look at this fucking picture of this guy. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what we're doing, but look at that fucking guy. Is there anything I need to know about that? No.
Trustworthy. No. That's definitely the look of one of the UFO people. That's they got to look.
He's got a skateboard on his wall, just like me. Not my skateboard, but like we've got similar decorating styles.
I can't believe you're not into UFO stuff. It's like,
it seems so stupid to me. It seems so stupid. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a tier 3 society out there that's got a Dyson sphere built around their sun, harnessing the energy of the sun. It's cool shit, dude.
There's a podcast that I don't know what it is, but I was like listening to something like, yeah, you want to know why people are drawn to conspiracy theories? Come listen to this podcast. And I was like, I should listen to that podcast just so I know what is wrong with Hudah.
You didn't check it out?
No, not yet, but I probably
got a link.
No, I was listening to whatever podcast that I listened to, and then it was like an ad for another one. I was like, oh, I should check that out.
Yeah, darn.
I haven't gotten around to it.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm peeking real quick at the spaces. I just want to see if what's the temperature of it, right? I want to see.
Accusations without, like, we're here to stop accusations without evidence. So much respect, Censer, but unless you. Yeah, no, 100%. You're entitled to your opinion, but we got the Hawk.
Okay, I don't know where they're at right now. By the way, I wonder if so I got a Spaces with English coming up in 25 minutes.
Do you really?
Yeah, so I'm curious if this is going to carry over a little bit. If we're going to have a little spicy Spaces today. I'm sure we're talking about all.
What is it? Is it fucking? Is it whatchamacallit? It's
the Little Noun Show.
Little Noun Show.
Yeah, let me pull it up. But he's probably going to be pretty well burnt out on this conversation. Rightfully so. But yeah, this is our.
Are you gonna talk nouns?
Wait, say what?
Are you gonna talk nouns?
No, I doubt it. I don't think they sponsor the show anymore. I think we hit our I think we hit our last episode last week before, something like that.
Mhm.
So I think we're just talking whatever. Typically, the way the show goes now is I usually write a market report, which I didn't. I wrote some stuff today, and we usually just follow an outline of what's going on in the market. So we might stick to that. But like 2/3 of what I wrote is about the Ordinals drama. So we'll see. But yeah, coming up.
Are you going to get down to any? Are you going to
minutes.
ask any tough questions
To English?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yes.
Oh, you're going to ask?
I'll ask exactly what Leonidas asked. Have you ever been paid by X or Y or Z? I'll do that. But actually, I don't think any of those accusations were directed at him. It might come up about the CyberKong stuff because he was on that advisor team for that. So that could come up.
Wouldn't that be easy to find out? We could just ask Henry.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll hit him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Could be spicy. You don't want to miss it. You never know. This person has an alien implant, by the way.
Yeah.
It might be a tumor. It could just be a tumor, but we're going to stick with it's an alien implant story.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. But there's cool ass stories now about real implant. I don't know. Cool shit. Cool shit. I'm looking forward to tonight. 8 years ago today was the birthday of Rare Pepe's. Rare Pepe #1, the Nakamoto card. One of the rarest, like most grail. Like if you're gonna call something a grail, you call that a grail. Love it.
Do people hate me as far as like when you're on other shows? Does my name ever get brought up as far as like, oh, you have that other show with Henry and Joe? Do you guys ever talk about like? I was wondering if people hate me.
No. Well, okay. I'll tell you this. Other shows,
audience members aside, because I know some audience members hate me, but I'm talking about like people in the space that like I rip on.
I don't think. I'll be very honest. I think the show's got really low visibility. It's something I'm working on as far as how do we market this where actually other people see it. Part of it's like we don't tweet ever, and nobody's gonna see it without tweeting. Like you can do video content, no one will ever see it if you don't tweet like regularly to get in the algorithm. I don't think anybody outside of the regulars you see the names here, nobody outside has ever mentioned anything about it ever.
I'm so glad I asked. It makes me feel like shit. But yeah, I guess that's on some level that's good. But yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows you. They know Henry because CyberKongs. We don't exist.
Gotcha.
Outside of this, we don't. We should work on that. But we don't exist. Period.
I like being under the radar.
But when these guys talk about you, it used to be they didn't like you. Used to be nobody liked you at the start, and now everyone loves you. Your redemption arc has been fucking glorious, man.
I love everybody. Well, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, I don't need to hear about people loving and hating me. I'm fine with whatever. But I do love everybody, so that's cool to hear. It's just, I don't want. I don't think I play well with others in the space as far as like. I don't know if I could be in any other show without you or Henry. I mean, I could. It's just if it was long enough, I think I would just be like, I can't fucking deal with this crazy bullshit that people are throwing out.
Because it's all bullshit, right? It's because it's all fake.
That's exactly right. I just can't. I can't stare into someone's face and have them lie to my face. I can't do it.
Yep. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I'll try to be honest with you mostly. So let's call it. Let's fucking call it.
Okay.
Fork in it, put a fork in it. It's done. Get ready.
And Henry, I'm taking shits and I'm fucking.
Let him shit in peace. Let him shit, bro. Okay. Only other thing on the agenda for the rest of the day, obviously the show. But man, again, keep your eyes on Pauly0x 2. Just less than 2.5 hours. Maybe I'll live stream. Oh, by the way, Joe, I mean this. I know it's not your thing.
Yeah.
But consider tomorrow night that we stream the debate. Just consider. Just consider. We'll pull up
Pauly0x. There's the debate tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It's Kamala Trump tomorrow.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be spicy. So
yeah, I'll think about it.
I'm not even positive I want to because it is probably 8 or 9 o'clock and it's gonna be hours and it's exhausting. I've done a couple of those lives; they are exhausting, but it'd also be kind of spicy.
Are we making any money off of Pondex? Is there a way to make anything? How do you make money?
I think so. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. You basically mine. I think you just allocate some soul towards tokens and you're allocating some of your processing power on your computer. So in a way, it's kind of passive. This is where I don't know the ins and outs. You can mine and then you get some kind of reward for mining and then you swap it for pond water or some shit. And then you swap that for soul or it's complicated enough. And that's why I haven't gone deep because I would not be able to explain it to people, but I'll figure it out and then I'll go through it here. But I'm loaded up. I've got I don't have a lot. I've got.
Is there any chance that this is a total scam or no?
this is where I'm going to trust Pauly. I never got involved. I've always kept up on what he's doing, but I never got involved when this deck's launched, right? And there were rewards back then, and people actually did well with it. So that's what I'm going off of. I wasn't involved, but I saw that people did do decent with rewards. This is supposed to be like 10 times more rewards, so I'll get in this time. I bought the pro membership for 1 soul for 1 month. I've got 5 soul loaded up to go do whatever the mining process is. We'll see.
You need soul. That's what you need.
Yeah. You link your ETH wallet, you connect a soul wallet. I'm hoping when you start, it's as simple as, you click a button and start mining. If it's more than that, I'll figure it out, but that's how I think you at least start. So,
okay.
Pauly0x.com. It's definitely worth looking at. I'll say that. So,
okay.
Gravity with his bag of pork. Guillermo says buy some pork. Maybe I'll buy some pork.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Isn't that the forked? What is that? I don't even remember. I thought that was like the forked Pepe token, but I probably got that way wrong. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for the next show. Guys, thank you for tuning in and hanging out and all that good stuff. Check us, me, Henry Cardno, Crusher on the Little Noun Show in 20 minutes here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for showing. Glad that only the people in this, only the names that I see are the only ones that know who I am in the space. So I really appreciate that. That was nice, Hudah. Thank you for letting me know that no one else watches me besides just these people on this show.
It's our family, man. It's our family. We love you guys. Peace.
Respect. Thank you.
With the non-fungible EX, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to see the road. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. Run for your body, it's the live in the tree. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Boy, Vaser.
Oh, boys.
Henry was with a customer, so it
Yeah.
worked out.
Come on, dude.
Customer.
Oh, sorry. I was with a customer. Yeah. Was that customer a fake person that you're just saying so you didn't? Oh, it was there for 2 hours. I mean, come on, dude.
Don't buy it.
No one's buying that bullshit.
Nobody's buying it, man.
I'm looking at the last show that we all did. 261 views on YouTube. I mean, come on, man.
It's not bad.
Someone's watched. It was no visibility. I mean, there's some visibility.
Okay, you know what it is? It's you got to hit the right topics. Like it's like when we got great numbers when we talked runes because runes were really hot. If we did a show that was focused on like the hot thing, like really it works different. But we just focus on like the everything stuff, and it doesn't work the same. It's just like we should go back and analyze shit and figure it out. Next level time. Time to take it next level. It's time.
The goal is to get so known that everyone hates me.
If that's the goal.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk. I do got a boogie. It's showtime again.
Maybe I'll check in with the show.
Oh, that'd be cool, dude. People can come up and chat. You're welcome to.
I'll get too upset. I won't do. I'll cause a scene.
Dude, I'm about to switch. I think maybe tomorrow my morning show. I've told you and everybody I'm about to like merge it all, like the morning shows. I think tomorrow, I think by Wednesday, Thursday it'll definitely happen. Like no 7 a.m. show for me or for us, like 7 a.m. our time. It's going to end up being 8 a.m. and both shows sandwiched and on space. I'm looking forward to the change. So,
all right, man. I'll try to be cooler so more people watch and we get some visibility.
Cool, man. I'll try. Be fucking cool, man. I'll see you later, Joe. See you, brother.